everyone, and welcome to Arts Alive here on Channel 95 in Fall River, Mass. And I'm very pleased to have with me today some people who are involved with the production of Little Theater's Ragtime, which runs from May 10th through the 13th right here at Bristol Community College. So welcome to Peggy Destin and to Galen Auer.
Thank you.
Galen is a member of the ensemble of the show, and Peggy has been very involved with writing grants for the production and also with the pre-party celebration that we're having on opening night, which would be Thursday, May 10th.
Thursday, May 10th.
So we're going to focus in this segment on the opening. And please jump in, Galen, with any thoughts on the show and the history of the show and the importance of celebrating, you know, our forebears, as we were saying before we went on, all of the people who've come from so many different places in this world to make America what it is, and how lucky we are that we're here and that they decided to come, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So, Peggy, why don't you tell us a little bit about the opening night pre-show?
Well, our thought was to have a celebration of ethnic diversity. And as such, it was incumbent upon me to reach out to various groups to try to get representatives from different countries and different ethnic backgrounds.
Yeah.
And so we have an assortment of people coming as our guests, and they're going to enjoy complimentary refreshments from all different lands. People will be bringing in refreshments from different ethnic backgrounds, and they will be able to write their name on a tag and say the name of the country they represent. And it gives...
There won't be room on a tag for me.
No,
there will be too many, you know. Yeah.
And that it creates dialogue among each other as they meet each other.
Little passports, I think, is what
they will enjoy their refreshments and mingle together in the lobby before the show, and then they get to see the wonderful production of Ragtime that Little Theater will do.
Yeah, and Ragtime, as we know, maybe you can jump in on this, Galen, but Ragtime is a show celebrating immigrants and the immigration to this country.
Right. I was actually going to say that I think it's great to have a party that celebrates that kind of ethnic diversity, specifically with different kinds of art forms and culture and entertainment, because that's a lot of what the show is about too.
Exactly.
It's called Ragtime, which is a genre of music from the era.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the show kind of plays with how the music itself kind of brings people of different ethnicities together, and they end up kind of their lives end up entangled and overlapping, and it kind of leads into a lot more complexity in the story too. So,
and one of the things that we are going to do with this pre-show reception is, in some cases, it will be folk dancing, like there's a Cambodian group that's coming, I believe, on Saturday night, and an Irish step dance group that's coming on Sunday.
Yeah.
This is, again, pre-show, obviously, in the lobby. And then on Thursday night, opening night, also as part of this, the biggest celebration of all of it, will be a Portuguese group that will be coming with music and song, and of course their instruments, their costumes, all of it. So we're really trying to capitalize, so to speak, on the theme of the show, and which is, I think, we're at a time in our history where that's so important, you know, that people do celebrate the who we are and what we are, and remember, try to remember where we came from, you know, which was other places.
Other places. Well, just about everyone came from a different place.
Yeah, well, everyone did, pretty much, except the natives who were here, you know, and so your role in the show is you are...
So I'm in the ensemble,
right? Yeah.
So I kind of bop around between different roles, but primarily I'm part of the what we call the New Rochelle Ensemble, which is this group of wealthy white individuals living in New Rochelle, New York, who kind of resist this idea that like their neighborhood is being, in their perspective, invaded by people of different ethnicities, immigrants coming from other countries, you know, African Americans and other people. So
coming in with their music and their
Right.
customs and
changing everything.
their language, right, in many cases, and exactly, yeah.
Yep.
Commingling, and
Yeah.
now things start to, you know, develop and
Right.
into what
And
America
I
is.
think a lot of it
Melting
is,
pot.
That's
yeah.
it.
It's. I think ragtime is supposed to make you a little bit uncomfortable, right? Like it's supposed to make you
I
think
think it
about
will.
your
Well, it
past
certainly- when I
and
saw it,
about
yeah.
all these issues that are still
Still very
so
prevalent.
relevant
That's
today.
right.
Unfortunately, still
Yeah,
relevant.
I saw it at the Wing more than 20 years ago, and I was just blown away. I couldn't get. I really didn't know a lot about it when I saw it. Didn't know a lot about the story or the show, but it was a musical, so I figured I'll like this, and I loved it. It was just it's one of my all-time favorite shows. It's just
That's
there's so much in it, and in my case, I don't really know what Little Theater is planning, but they did what they called a rake stage, which is the stage is like this. It's on a slant, and it's built that way, parts of it. So you had the various, like there were the three main groups, and they had their space,
Oh,
and it was primarily costume and song,
wow.
you know, and it was of course props, and it was
Right.
fabulous. It was just a fabulous, fabulous show.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that this one is going to be the same.
It will be.
Yeah.
It will be great. And I'm very excited about the opening night.
Yeah.
Just the opening night itself is exciting to
It
me with
is,
every
yeah,
show.
it is.
But this one in particular.
And Laura
I
Douglas,
think
do you want to mention the president of BCC is also
Yes,
going to
the
give an intro?
President of BCC, Laura Douglas, will give the welcoming remarks just before the curtain goes up. And we're delighted to welcome her to see this show.
We'll be right back with one of the other stars of Ragtime. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking Ragtime with people from the cast, and it's my pleasure now to include in this discussion Chelsea Swan, along with Ariel Auer. Not Ariel,
Galen.
Galen. And I just talked about the easy name.
I know you
There
did,
we go. Galen Auer. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves, how you got involved in theater and what you do and your role in the show. We talked a little bit in the first segment of Ragtime about the theme of the show and immigrants and so forth and so on. So
Okay.
your role is,
My role is Mother.
yeah,
Mother is a very interesting character. She goes through a lot of changes through this, throughout this story. With her husband leaving to go away, she has to take care of the family business. And she goes through a lot of changes and starts to kind of make her own decisions.
come into her own, yeah.
Yeah, which is not quite what happened in 1906.
Usually, right, yeah.
Yes. So it's a very interesting role to play. It is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but it's a huge learning opportunity for me, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
And what's your background in theater work?
I have a master's in vocal performance from the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. I'm new back to, well, I live in Rhode Island, but back to the East Coast after getting my master's out there. My friend Ariel, who plays Sarah in the show, was like, we're going to audition for this show, let's go. And I
Great.
was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I'm new to Little Theater, and it's a great company, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful show.
Oh, I'm sure it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you? What was your intro into theater work?
I'm very recently getting back into theater after an almost 10-year, what would you call it? Break, I guess. 10-year hiatus. I performed in theater in high school, just in like theater club, and haven't done anything since then. And decided that I wanted to start doing it again. So I did one play before this one, and now this is my second play in like 10 years.
Wow, that's a big span of.
It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I read the description of the show, when the audition notice went
Came
out,
out,
I
right.
knew like I had to be in this show. Like I absolutely had to. And it's because of a lot of what you're talking about, just the story itself, the story about immigrants, about race, about women too. Like you just brought
Oh,
up that,
yeah.
you know, and I think that's what makes the show so beautiful, is because it's about this era that was really such a time of change in the United States in so many ways. Like, people were starting to question the traditions that had always been assumed in the past.
Up to that, which is
Right.
set in what, 1904?
1906.
1906.
Yep. So,
Just pre-World War I.
right.
You know, about 10 years before World War I, and when a lot of change was going on worldwide. And in many ways, I sort of feel we're in that time now.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, a little more than 100 years later, but I still feel that, you know, there's like a real turmoil. Not just here, but in the world. I see a unsettling
Yeah.
in many ways. You know, it's a,
Talking to many of the cast members, we've said that if you changed some of the names of
Yeah.
the historical figures that are in the show, it would be very relevant still today.
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I tell people that the story of Ragtime is something you could have read in the newspaper yesterday. Like, that's what I've been telling to
Oh,
all my friends and
absolutely.
relatives is
It
like,
is, yeah.
it could literally be something that had just happened yesterday and you heard about it on the news.
And the music,
Right.
incredible.
Oh, the music is incredible.
It's
Beautiful,
going to
beautiful.
knock people dead. Like, honestly,
I
not to
think so,
toot our own
too.
horn, but we are pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's the
We have an incredible group.
first big ensemble rehearsal was just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is going to be a really great show, and the music is beautiful.
And it's so good because, you know, when you have a cast, when you put together a cast like that, they really do feed off one another.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's that whole taking it to a higher level because you want to be part of that higher level, you know, and which is, I think, a very, very good thing in a cast. So
Right.
it's we're really looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing the show, and as I said earlier, we hope that everyone will come out on between May 10th, whenever you can make it, the 10th to the 13th, 7:30 p.m., 10, 11, and 12, and 13 is at 2 p.m., the 2 p.m. matinee. Again, an opening night, big celebration, Portuguese singing and not dancing, but singing and instruments. And then a Cambodian group on the Saturday night, and Irish step dances on the Sunday. So that will be pre-show. We'll get them ready for you.
Right.
And then they'll walk in, sit down, and it'll start.
It's going to be a beautiful show.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Bring
Thank
your
you
mother
so much.
for Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day.
Well,
weekend.
exactly right. Yeah, bring your mother for Mother's Day.
Just me and you alone again. My old childhood friend. Voice inside my head never stops. Counting my sins from deep inside. You're always there by my side. You can never hide how dissatisfied you are with me. Lengths that I go to remain your friend. Spent years in believing the promises made. I'm asleep. Soft shoes just tiptoeing through my life. There's nothing at all you can say to ease my mind. I'll just wait till the storm clears. Till after the storm clears. Always a helpful word or a guiding hand to misunderstand my reasons. The way that things are, it's just as they are. What a fool I've been to believe the spin and let you suck me in each time. I haven't been able to shake you thus far. Spent years in believing the promises made. I'm asleep. Soft shoes just tiptoeing through my life. There's nothing at all you can say to ease my mind. I'll just wait till the storm clears. Till after the storm clears. There's nothing at all you can say to ease my mind. I'll just wait till the storm clears, till after the storm clears. If I can just wait one more day, things are bound to get better after the storm. After the storm. After the storm. After the storm clears.
That was great. You're listening to Rosewood on Arts Alive here on Channel 95. And I have Chris Farias. I'm going to introduce the group one by one. Tell us a little bit about that number, Chris.
Well, that song
I think
actually,
you can talk into your mic,
yeah.
actually. Yeah.
that song actually was, it was written, it was commissioned in a way. I was asked to do a songwriters in the round evening, and we were given a topic after the storm clears, and you know, I thought the natural thought for that is probably a love song, you know, like after the
Beautiful,
storm clears,
yeah.
right? But I didn't want to just write a love song, you know. I didn't want to write a love song to a person, so I started thinking, well, what other relationships do I have in my life? And I thought, well, the longest one I've had is the relationship that I've had with the voice in my head that tells me that I can't do things. you know. So I said, what if I wrote a love song to the obnoxious roommate that takes up space in my skull? And that's
Yeah.
how that song.
And we all have that voice, Chris.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, which is too bad that we have that, really. Holds us back so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
And how did you get started with all of this?
I come from a musical family.
Yeah, I know your dad.
My father
Yeah.
plays, my uncles all play, my grandparents played, and there was music in our house. So it's the family biz. Some people get a
Family
butcher
biz.
shop.
Yeah,
I got handed a guitar.
Well, that's good. And Rosewood, where did the name come from?
Well,
why
that's an
that-
interesting story. Is the Rosewood? Yeah.
That was like a lot of crazy texts. We were like, we need to come up with a band name. So we literally had
Great.
like,
Beautiful name.
I don't
But
yeah.
it was the fastest, most quickly agreed upon band name I've ever seen happen with a group
Really?
of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like that.
They were all
Very
playing
nice.
wooden instruments, and that's, I
Yeah.
think that's how.
Well,
the
that's
wooden-
Yeah, Tom came
that
up with
makes
it.
sense. Yeah. Did you?
Well,
So we're gonna
Rose
move right over
something.
here to Mike Loriano. What
Tom.
am I moving here?
Mike's brother, Tom.
Oh,
You know
okay.
Mike.
Tom. I'm sorry. It
That's
is
quite all
Tom
right.
Loriano. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
just finished playing with my brother Mike, but yeah.
Okay. So tell us about you. You've already told us of a family
Yes.
family music here.
Very similar, believe it or not. My brothers, when they were playing out around the same time when Chris's father and uncles were playing out.
Yeah.
So I think we started off kind of singing around campfires. We used to do a lot of camping stuff when we were younger. And then my brothers just started playing acoustic guitar.
That was
I grew-
before Disneyland and all
That's
that.
right.
That's right. Yeah. I remember
and I think
those days.
I just gravitated towards drums because my two brothers played guitar. And I was like,
I love those.
yep, called Cajon.
Oh, they're great.
Cajon. It's a Peruvian kind of
I was
inspired.
going to say it looked a little bit like a South American look.
The boxes
Yeah.
and everything else, I kind of just
Great.
adapted to make
Yeah.
it sound like drums.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, well, it is. Has a great sound.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we're gonna, if I can move on over to Alicia.
Oh,
And Alicia also has a beautiful voice.
oh, thanks.
I'm pulling this along with me. And it's Alicia Ruggiero.
Alicia
So
Ruggiero.
tell us about you and how you got started.
Well, my dad played me in stereo. He had a really, and he still has, the system. But as far as playing, my mom asked me one day, I was 12, and she was like, do you feel like playing the violin? I said, sure. And then, I went to college, and I thought I was going to be a pre-med major. And then I was like, I'm going to follow my dream. So instead, I started playing music. And I'm classically trained. And then when I graduated, I moved to California and went to the dark side and decided
that
to
happens.
play fiddle. And, and then I traveled around, left the United States and just met more and more musicians and just was able to learn from everybody that I got to play with. So It's
Here
been
you are.
quite the journey, and here I am.
Now, you're originally from this area.
Originally from Rhode Island.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
So what are we going to hear next, group? Rosewood.
The next song we're going to do is actually a song that I wrote for my son. He was born at 28 weeks, extremely premature, and he spent 2 months in the NICU. He's 7 years old now, and he's strong.
Great.
You know, he's in good health. But this song is about that time when he was.
And what's the title?
It's called James's Song. That's his name, James, but in parentheses, partly me.
Partly Me.
Partly me.
Okay.
Came to me the way babes often do. The stage was set one Sunday afternoon. Left it up to me to break the news. A baby boy who came a touch too soon. Mom and Dad gave their love, said it's all you need. Turn a diamond in the rough into one that's polished clean. No one knows who you'll be, but I know what you mean to me. When I look at you, I can't believe that you're partly me. Had to get to know you through the glass. And every day it seemed a lifetime passed, till it came the time to take you home. Never spend another night alone. Mom and Dad gave their love, said it's all you need. Turn a diamond in the rough into one that's polished clean. But no one knows who you'll be, but I know what you mean to me. When I look at you, I can't believe that you're partly me, partly me. Partly me, partly me, partly me, partly me. With us now and things are going fine. Getting big and strong before our eyes. Dreaming of the things we're gonna do. It's time to start to build our lives with you. Mom and Dad gave their love, said it's all you need. Turn a diamond in the rough into one that's polished clean. No one knows who you'll be, but I know what you mean to me. When I look at you, I can't believe, can't believe.
I like the History Channel. I'm a fan of history. And so I was sitting up one night, and there was this thing about this voodoo priestess called Julia Brown. And she lived down in Louisiana from like the early 1900s. And she would like go around and she healed everybody in the town, but everybody like they'd come to her and be like, "Can you help me?" And then they would just like, they wouldn't talk to her, after that. And she was like, "Really, people? So I'm going to heal you, and then you're not going to come around." So she would sit on her porch and give everybody the stank eye, and was just like angry. And she sang this song, and it was called "One Day I'm Going to Die, and I'm Going to Take You All With Me." And they were all, obviously freaked out because, Julia was angry. So needless to say, Julia died. The day of her funeral, there was this huge storm that came through Manchac, Louisiana, wiped out the whole town, and nobody was left. So Julia took them all out, apparently. So I wrote a song about it. And here's how it goes. Show at a small town in the state of Louisiana. The people used her for healing ways, and when they looked at her, she looked the other way. Miss Julia Brown didn't take too kindly to this. So she sat on a porch and gave the Himalayan fruit up something sweet. And she sang her song, and the big stuff came along, and it went a little something like this. One day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna take you all with me. Take you all with me. Now, Miss Julia Brown, she never told a lie. She always knew the answer to the questions that we're all afraid to ask. And when she died, the clouds appeared in the sky, and the people's fears came alive. And the wind blew hard, and the rain came down, and the flood came rolling in. And the sun came up, and all that was left were the ruins of old Manchac. Cause she sang her song, and the figures came along, and it went a little something like this. One day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna take you all with me. One day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna take you all with me. I'm gonna take you all with me. One day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna take you all with me. One day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna take you all with me. One day I'm gonna die. I'm gonna take you all with me. I'm gonna take you all with me. I'm gonna take you all with me.
If you want to hear more of this wonderful music, turn out on Saturday, May the 5th, at Pascamancet Grange